All right, so we got to see some Trey Lance, and the first thing I want to talk about is just, are the 49ers going to run a two-quarterback system? Because if so, I'm on board. Totally awesome. I am a fan of the two-quarterback system. I liked it when the Saints did it. Some people were, the commentators were saying, man, can you think, when has this happened? Back in the 70s? It's like, it literally happened like 2 years ago. Like, it's been happening for the past 3 years in New Orleans. That's a smaller degree, of course, because Taysom Hill would come in only for some select snaps. But, it's essentially the same idea. It's the same sort of thing there. Also, we saw this a little bit if you remember back when the Baltimore Ravens just drafted Lamar Jackson. He wasn't a super hyped up prospect. He was 32nd overall. There was some, conflicting reports about him. And the Ravens drafted him and had him come in during some select snaps. They would send Joe Flacco out wide as a receiver, which was very funny. So this isn't the first time we've seen this, but I like it. I think it's really good, and it probably is the first time we've seen this with a number 3 overall pick, at least in recent memory. And it might be the first time we've seen this where you have a team legitimately having a quarterback take like 25% of the snaps, because the other ones I listed were closer to like 5 to 10% of snaps. So that's maybe where things get a little bit interesting. So I want to talk about that. Now, I'm going to spend the first part of this video talking about what the running game can do for an offense. But yeah, as a whole, I love this. I think in certain situations, we already do this with other, positions, right? Where if it's a running down, well, you put in 3 tight ends, right? So why not put in the quarterback who can help you get 3 yards better than a different quarterback? I love this. So let's get into the film study and talk about, what I like about this kind of system in general. So this is why having a quarterback who can run with the football can be so valuable. I think, I'm not sure how many people fully realize the impact of having a quarterback who can run with the football. It helps in both facets. Obviously, he can run with the football, but this is the main way that teams like to do this is, on this play, Lance has 2 options. He could keep it himself and run to the top of the screen, or he could hand it off. Those are the 2 things he could do. There's a Raiders player who I've circled in yellow. That is the guy who is going to impact Lance's decision on this. And I also should qualify, some teams will have the quarterback make a decision, some teams won't, and will just have a set play already designed. I'm pretty sure on this play, though, this is a legit option. Lance could do whatever he wants with this one. Because watch how you see how far off to the side 52 for Las Vegas is right here. He's being aware of a potential Trey Lance run, which makes sense. If Lance keeps it himself, he's going to go further towards the top of the screen, whereas if he hands it, it goes up the middle. So this is what makes this so valuable, is it essentially gives you an extra blocker. Obviously when Lance runs the ball himself, you get that extra blocker, but this way he can hand the ball off, he doesn't take any hits, and you still get the extra blocker. You don't have to block 52 because he's taking himself out of the play because he's focused on a Trey Lance run. As you see, Lance just hands the ball off and they pick up a ton of yards right there because they had the extra blocker, and that's a huge part in football. You get one extra blocker, that matters a lot more than I think people realize. It's not just a slight benefit. No, it's a huge deal. It turns 3-yard runs into 13-yard runs. So this one's another one. So this one's going to be towards the bottom of the screen, but still the offense is right. You actually have a back who's going to pull all the way over to block, so everyone will be accounted for, again, except for one Las Vegas player. And a situation like this is really where this kind of play comes in handy. In a second down and goal situation, so you're inside the 5, it's a short yardage play. This is where having a guy like Lance can be really effective. This is where they would, where the Saints would run Taysom Hill, right? It's plays like this where you can sort of spread things out a little bit. And look, so you see that Lance, at this point, this is when he makes the decision. And again, 52 can kind of do no right here, right? Because you could sit here and say, oh, he needs to be further towards the outside, but we saw him do that last time. So now he's going closer towards the middle, but that's not exactly a winning formula either. Now Lance can keep the ball himself, and again, you have the extra blocker, so he's easily going to get in there. You're basically playing football up a man now when you can do this stuff, which is what makes it just so lethal and so difficult to stop. As far as Lance himself went, I thought he played well. I mean, the numbers might not tell the whole story of 6 for 13, 46 yards. I thought he played better than that. There were, again, more drops in this game, 3 of them. And this time, I think that they weren't his fault at all. Last time I thought that some of them were his fault. This time I really didn't. I thought that this was just just kind of a weird coincidence. I mean, maybe it's possible they were his fault, but to me, I didn't see it that way. I felt like these were good plays that the receivers dropped, 2 of them by Jalen Hurd, unfortunately, who I still think Hurd had a good game. I just think he had a couple bad drops, but as far as Lance and his performance, I thought that he did well. There was one weird play. We'll start off with the weird play, and then we'll get into some good that I saw from him. I personally really liked this play in particular. What's going to happen on this one is that it's zone coverage, cover 3 zone, and you see this concept. So the way it works is you essentially, it's zone coverage you're going up against. You have 3 players who are all going to be all the way over to the left side of the field. If you think about how it works, the player who's currently lined up to the offense's left, he runs a go route, pushes the corner deep. You also have a tight end kind of flash over and go underneath. So that could potentially bring a linebacker further in, or it could not do that, in which case, you could just throw it to him. But if it does bring a linebacker in, Jalen Hurd, who's currently lined up to the offense's right, then runs all the way over to the left, and there could be a little bubble there. Now, a linebacker might pick it up and follow him, but that's still a favorable situation for the San Francisco 49ers. Also, to help make this play work a little bit better, there's going to be a play action, which could fool some linebackers and get them out of position, which could make it easier for her to get open. But also, you're then going to have Trey Lance himself roll out to the top of the screen, just give himself a better angle to make this throw. And look, so Lance fakes the handoff. He does get over there. And what I love about this from Lance is watch how he plants his feet. This is something I always get on young quarterbacks for not doing. A lot of guys like to say, I'm talented enough, I can throw off balance. But in the NFL, the windows are tighter. You have to get the ball there quicker. Lance doing a great job of squaring his shoulders, getting his feet planted, and putting himself in position where he can make this throw as opposed to just throwing it off balance. Everyone loves a great off-balance throw, but what I love more is a complete throw, and this will get the ball to be complete more often than, throwing off balance. And look, I mean, he's still a bit off balance, but he got his feet square, and just a beautiful throw to Jalen Hurd, which I got to make a Jalen Hurd film study, because he's someone who I was a huge fan of when he got drafted. Excited to see him have a big day, even if he did have that drop, which was his fault. Still, great throw from Trey Lance, though. There was something like this, which it was just weird. This was just a weird, odd decision that I don't understand what happened here. So it's zone coverage, cover 3 zone. And this concept is designed to get the ball to Jalen Hurd. That's what they're doing here. It's essentially a pick play. So you have a receiver who's going to kind of run into a Raiders defender who's in charge of covering the zone that Hurd's eventually going to get into. And watch what happens. Look, so Lance takes the snap. He looks over. He's looking at Hurd. He's supposed to throw this ball to Hurd. That's what this play is designed for, and it's working out beautifully. Hurd is wide open. For the life of me, I don't know why Trey Lance decides to get off this read. I just don't get it. It's confusing to me, and again, I'm not into huddle. Maybe they're trying to stimulate something, and so that's why he didn't make this throw. But if they're just playing this, if this was in the regular season, this would be a very horrible play, quite frankly. Usually I don't get on guys for poor reads too much, but when you're looking at a wide open receiver and don't make that throw, I'll get on you a little bit for that. He ends up just throwing the ball away, it appeared. Maybe he was trying to complete it and missed it. I don't know. That was just a weird play, so I wanted to bring it up because, I like to talk about both sides. This wasn't ideal. It just wasn't. This play, I think, was great as well. I literally said to myself, oh, that's awesome, even though it wasn't a completion. So what's going to happen is that it's zone coverage, play action, and you have Jalen Hurd running over the middle. And what's going to happen on this play is, well, really the main thing I want you to take a look at at first is Lance's footwork. Watch how Lance takes a snap and he gets back upright so quickly. His footwork this game, fantastic. Really good footwork. That's something I liked about him in college. He's showing it off in the NFL here. It works really well for the Shanahan system where you do kind of have to, run a play action, but then quickly get upright, stuff like that. Quickly get your shoulder square, all of that good stuff. So right off the bat, very well done by Trey Lance. And you could argue this throw is low, but I wouldn't. I mean, look, he takes some off, I feel like. Yes, that's him taking some off. I mean, that has touch on it. I feel like that's a throw that you can absolutely catch right there. And I'm sorry, Hurd has to make that catch. He does. I think that's a really good play by Trey Lance. And, I really do. I think that was great by Lance. So, yeah, as a whole, that's what I think about Trey Lance. I'm very excited for this potential 2-quarterback system, and I thought that he did good. Easily his best preseason game, in my opinion. So, 49ers fans, we don't have to fight tonight. We'll all agree, I'm sure, that he did look good. Exciting times for the San Francisco 49ers. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.